car gets confusing. And I was like, yeah. Like after I got in the car, he goes, how long is this going to take? I was like, I don't know.
I don't know yet. Oh no. So this car was at Mavis, and they said this car was at Mavis, and they printed out the code list, and they didn't know what to do. So the code list was a communication error between the ECM and PCM, and they said it needed a computer on the paperwork, and they had a bunch of misfires. So when the customer came to me, I was like, all right, I speak Honda Earthstream's turbo technology. Yeah, this is a problem child here. So I'm gonna let this engine cool off while I run some diagnostics. But yeah, and the customer's like, yeah, like every warning light comes on. I said, I'm very familiar with this. Anytime you have any malfunction, it alerts every system for you. So we're gonna shut this off, and then we're gonna get into it. So 89,000 miles. He just had an oil change done. I'm gonna let the engine cool. Let me get the scanner up and see what's going on, because I'm not sure if those guys, shut up, actually erase the codes or not. It's got some loose body panels here too. So now, you know, here we go, fast forwarding. We're documenting body damage on people's vehicles because people suck. Smart of him, protect his investment. There's also some suspension noise he didn't complain about and some tire noise. But let me focus on his original request. Is I was at Mavis for engine light problem, and I guess they didn't have any answers for him because there was nothing on the estimate. So let's get into this. I'm going to tell you that it's going to have all the same issues that I've been finding on every one of these cars, which is going to be carbon buildup for sure. Not necessarily head gasket, because not all of these have the same, they don't all fail the same. But if it's losing coolant, we're going to find out. But I don't want to open the cooling system now that he drove it and then I took it for a ride. But I'm going to tell you the prescription here, if he doesn't want to replace the cylinder head, because that's what this thing needs. And that's only temporary until they come up with a fix for the engine block. Like I said, no one's commented on putting brass wire in that groove between the cylinders and copper spraying it in. You know, it should work. Dylan, I'm telling you, I think that would work. Instead of just charging somebody to do all this and not put a new short block in it, you're just not fixing the problem. It's just a band-aid. It's just a band-aid. So let's get into it. And this customer absolutely had no problems today paying for us to do a diagnostic. Not too sure if he's going to commit to the process, and I'm going to go through the process with you now. So the process for me, knowing the history on these engines, is one, there is no fix for this until someone comes out with a new block, or someone takes what I'm saying about putting copper between the cylinders on. Even lead would probably work, and then just easily deck the block, not deck it to where you're decking it, but just get it smooth, and then put the head gasket on with some copper spray and be done with this thing and fix the problem. Or come out with a long block, and Honda should actually eat that. Please update apps first. I don't want to update shit. Let's go. Let's get to Honda. Sorry about that, guys. And then the bigger kick in the balls is it probably needs injectors too. So let's move on here. Let's see if I come up with the communication problems. And I'm going to tell you the communications problems are, you continue to drive this vehicle with all of the malfunctions and you stay in it, then the modules get confused. And then they throw communication errors because it can't communicate because it's got errors from the misfires. So we're just going to go with engine right now. Ugh. So my prescription on this is if it's low on coolant, to add some type of sealer to it. Interesting, so they erased the codes. Awesome. Maybe there'll be something left in the ignition control module. I doubt it. Alright, so they must have cleared the codes. So I test drove the car and put it under my abuse test, and it passed my abuse test. But that means it only passed it for today. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It's not going to show its face right now. It could be when the engine gets cold. But I need to make it cool off a bit before I open the radiator cap. The days of me getting burned to death are over. So here's the script for this. You need a cylinder head regardless because of the design problem. The valves are probably full of carbon. It's definitely going to need a set of spark plugs, and it's going to need some type of attempt to try and fix this, but I need to get this cooler to see if I can open this up, and you can see that the cap may be seeping a little bit. There's no fix for the engine block problem, so even if you commit to a cylinder head, this is only going to happen again. And somebody come out here in the world and say, hey Ant, that sounds like a good idea, lead or copper wire, you know, tap it down into the groove, take copper spray, after you sand it smooth, copper spray it in on the head, on the gasket on both sides, and torque it down. That should be a solid repair. On top of the head bolts suck too. So a lot of little issues here with this turbocharged engine, and the 18 and 20 pounds of boost is a lot of boost for these engines today on weak components.
I think you need the motor.
On top of using regular gasoline, which when it detonates increases cylinder pressure so much higher. And what I like about this intake for me is if it isn't completely a basket case, vacuum line here on cylinder 4, map sensor on cylinder 3, you have this one between 2 and 3, and then you have this vacuum line here that's right on 3, and really nothing for 4, but you could actually drill a hole in your intake here and then seal it back up with a threaded bolt, because this is a boosted engine, and actually be able to actually spray right into these ports. And it looked like the oil was just done, so I'm gonna let this cool off, and then we're gonna go from there. I'm curious if the oil change place was sweet enough to change the air filter. Let's see. This tells you right here, no maintenance. Sometimes the customers, you're the biggest problem. You're one of the biggest problems with your car. This hasn't been changed in years. Imagine what the cabin air filter looks like. All right, thanks for watching.